I was recently playing around online and I saw a Miami Dolphins mock draft 3.0. So, Vlad, we're going to go through some of this mock draft. We're going to kind of say how we feel about the whole situation. Maybe it's not so much about the players because I'm telling you, man, I'm not beating the bushes for an offensive tackle from Syracuse. And I can't give you all of his great stats and what I've been thinking about him all season long. But we'll talk about the pick and how you kind of feel about it. In this mock draft, the Dolphins are picking in round 2, the 51st overall pick. There's a lot of good players still available. What do you think option or number one necessity for these Miami Dolphins going into this draft is going to be what position?
Offensive line and
Very
and
nice.
tight end.
Very nice. So they the 51st pick in the second round. This mock draft has Matthew Bajaron, offensive tackle from Syracuse. You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. You've got a need. You've got a guy that's there. Why not go out there and get a good offensive tackle right there from Syracuse? Now, in the third round, you get the 84th overall pick. Where do you think they're going with that one? Now we've got the offensive line. We got
Tight end.
no,
They're not.
they've got them taking Jordan Battle from Alabama, a safety. Jordan Battle.
Do you need a
I
safety?
mean, don't you have a little? I mean, if they're healthy,
I mean,
should
you
be
have
pretty
your
good.
secondaries is up there, man. It's probably one of the top 3 secondaries in the league right now.
Yeah, you would think go with a tight end, but nope. They're saying, of course, now, but what they say and what might happen. But I'm guessing maybe Vic Fangio, they feel as though it's a new coach, maybe give him a new toy to play with. When I say toy to play with, a new weapon to use out there. You got a guy from Alabama playing some defense. That's a pretty stacked defense. He knows how to play. Jordan Battle. I don't know. Eventually, you got to draft a tight end, right?
I mean, I think that's the only missing piece in your offense right now.
Well, you're gonna have to sit around for 3 more rounds because you don't have a pick until the 6th round, the 197th pick. So you might have to trade. You might want to do some trading up. But nonetheless, they got Ben Sims, tight end from Baylor. You know, that would be a good choice to get a tight end at some point because you're kind of barren at that position. You're kind of barren there last year. Gasecki, although a good receiver, wasn't really a good blocking tight end. You guess Mike McDaniel going to get a little bit of more blocking. Of course, in the article, can Ben Sims block? Yes. So he apparently is a very good blocking at tight end, which is what Mike McDaniel wants. Do you think we see more of the running game this year? You and I have talked about this. I think in year 2 of Mike McDaniel, kind of got away from the running game a little bit last year, maybe a little too pass happy, even though it is a pass happy league. But I think Mike McDaniel kind of wants to get back to more of his roots this season. And I really do think he's going to implement more of the running game. Brought his guys back. You got Mostert, you got all the other guys.
That's the thing. These guys, that's if the running backs can stay healthy, yes, you'll see more of the running game.
And you get a tight end that can block.
And if
maybe
the O line can stay healthy as well. Listen, for a team that's talented like the Dolphins in the second year under Mike McDaniel, I think their health is the most important thing. Obviously, the number one person that needs to be healthy is the quarterback.
Yeah.
And if he can remain healthy and your O line can remain healthy, Armstead, Jackson, and the running back,
this is what I tell you.
you got to get me.
You take
Mostert and Wilson have to be healthy.
You take a lot of pressure off Tua when you got a good offensive line and you got running backs running the ball. It opens a lot of things up, and that quarterback isn't running for his life.
He doesn't have to stand in the pocket and take hits.
It's not as predictable. When you're at 3rd and 1, you're not as predictable as you are at 3rd and 8. Gives Tua a lot more time to do what he has to do with that extra padded helmet. And with the 7th round pick, 238th overall, this mock draft has Jacob Slade, defensive tackle from Michigan State. My guess would be pretty much best player available. At that point, when you're in the round 7, I mean, what else are you going to do? You would think, right?
Yeah.
Are you a guy that says, let's just always go ahead and take the best player available? Or are you a guy that says, let's go address our needs?
No, you got to take the best player available.
Really? See, I think different drafts call for different things. I think in football, you might want to kind of address your needs, unless you're the top pick or top 3 pick. I think in basketball, you always get the best player available. You just get as much talent on the team as possible. You'll figure it all out. Baseball, I don't know how you draft in baseball. I'll be honest with you. It goes on. Well, now they've actually shortened it and everything like that. So, yeah. So went to another article that's talking about some of the offensive players that the Dolphins should be circling on their draft board. They got Ohio State's DeJuan Jones, 6'8", 374 pounds. Vlad, you put you and I together. We might be 6'8", 374 pounds.
I bet right now you could combine both our weights. We're not here. We're still 100 pounds
I don't.
less.
I don't weigh myself anymore, but I'm guessing I'm about 135.
I'm 155 solid.
So we're nowhere close. We're not even to 300.
We're not even 300 pounds.
North Dakota State offensive tackle Cody Mauch and Wisconsin. Wisconsin's got a proud history of great lineman center Joe.
Yeah, but you
Tippmann.
know what? Chris Greer always finds the
finds the
guys.
one bum.
He always try like you're not supposed to mess up finding Notre Dame or Wisconsin offensive lineman, and yet
he gets the one bum. Not great one.
Inadequate.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't think they're going to draft a running back. I really don't think the Dolphins need any more running back. They've got their stable, and they're like, well, what if they get hurt? It's like, well, if they get hurt, you got enough problems.
If they do, they could probably sign one in free agency. The one thing about that one rookie free agency, one thing I say I would give credit to that offensive system is that if you remember in San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan can find any running back as long as he can run that system. That running back will give you 400, 500, 600 yards in that like 80 carries. So they'll be able to find a running back in that system to run that one cut and have speed. I'm not worried about their backfield. You always can add another running back, but I think the running backs that you have that know the offense, that they know that offense so well.
And the offense knows them.
Yes, and they've played in that offense for over 5 seasons now. So, yeah.
Something about having your guys there. But I'll float out one name that's kind of interesting, and maybe if he's on the draft board at one point, you might want to feel like pulling the trigger. UCLA's Zach Charbonnet. Great career at UCLA. Can run, can catch, maybe a little bit of blocking right there. Interesting. If he falls far enough. Interesting. Wide receivers. Do you really see them going after a wide receiver?
No, you just signed Robbie.
Yeah, you got River.
Chosen.
River Craycraft. You got Chosen.
And you got Reek and Waddle.
Tyreek and Waddle. Everybody's got to eat. So I don't see. I mean, you get a rookie. I mean, really?
No, you're going to eat. Tua does a good job of getting the ball to the receivers when they're open.
Yeah, I just don't see why you would need. I mean, you really want to address offensive line. You want to address tight end. And you want to address whatever best defensive players you can get. Everything else, you're pretty good. You
just stack it up. You have a great team but on paper, obviously nobody wins on paper. So you have a great team right now on paper. Just have to remain healthy.
So you go quarterback. No, you got Tua, you got Mike White, and you drafted Skylar Thompson last year. So no need to even look at quarterback.
I think you shore up the backup quarterback position. I think Mike White, obviously seeing him play for my team the past 2 seasons, think he's a definite upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater. And I think knowing the AFC East very well, like he will, so if it's a game that Tua has to miss or gets banged up and miss some time, you have a capable quarterback. Now, you don't want Mike White quarterbacking no more than like 2 games. That's it. If he's quarterbacking, if he has to be your quarterback for 3 or 4 games, that's not a good look. It's not a good look. I think you do a good job of protecting your quarterback. He does a better job of protecting himself. Dolphins should be in the playoffs like they were last season, and they'll definitely be competing for the AFC East title.
Yeah,
along with the Jets and the Bills.
And the Bills, yeah, definitely. I think the Patriots are just going to kind of have like a season like they had last year, and they're ready to maybe start fading away a little bit. We'll see. So you're not worried about quarterback. You're not worried about running back. Tight end is a definite thing that you have to address. If you find a guy that you really like, you might want to try to do some moving around, try to get a tight end that you really like. If you really like that guy, you go out there, get that offensive line. Of course, if you like some guys, if you get some guys, you've got to get some more bodies in there.
And the other thing about it is, Dan, that there's going to be more cuts. There's going to be some big name players that are going to be cut by teams. The June 1st, that's cut day. So there's going to be available veteran players, guys that maybe on the last 9 of their career, the back 9 of their career, probably like at the 15th hole, they could come in and help. Definitely want to play in Florida, the city. They definitely want to play in South Florida, city Miami, where they have a state tech, the tax break from the state.
Yeah, makes a big difference.
Makes a big difference, put it this way. A guy think Miami and other teams should take a should give a call during the season, late in the season. So a guy like Ndamukong Suh.
Bring him back.
Bring him back, because this is Ndamukong Suh now. He's a definitely Hall of Fame. Like he's an assassin, but he's also he's there for the money and he's there to try to win. So a guy like that, not going to go through training camp or anything. He doesn't want to go through all of that, but you bring him in October or November to add some depth to that defensive line. Guy who has Super Bowl experience, he's a Super Bowl champion, and he can help.
I feel as though you can plug the holes on defense, find some guys, whether they be free agents, undrafted. You might draft a guy here or there if you like him. But the main thing is, in the offensive line, you don't need studs all the time. What do they say the most important thing about an offensive line is? That you gel and that you know each other and that you play well together. If you can just get some guys that you know can play well together, you can get a little bit of gelling going on. You start the running game starts going, it opens up everything. Tua wins the MVP, and we go dancing into the playoffs.
That's,
Temper back.
Scale back a little bit.